Ahoy, ahoy, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you back to another Diecast review, and this one here is of the 2021 Indycar Series champion. This is Alex Palou's car from last year's Long Beach Grand Prix. So this review, just gonna get this out there straight away, is gonna have the same tone that the Dixon review had. Now, I will compliment Greenlight on one thing and one thing only, is the fact that they actually got this out in relatively decent time. As of recording, it's the day of the Grand Prix, which I believe is May 13th or 14th. I'm losing track of my days. But it's the day of the IndyCar Grand Prix here in Indianapolis, or GMR Grand Prix, since they got a sponsor for it, I guess. And it came out yesterday, the first day of practice. So this one actually came out a little bit ahead of schedule, and we're actually getting diecast during the month of May again, which is very, very good to see. However, this car, though it looks great, I did not want to see it necessarily in the way it is. Now, I'll explain that, but first, let's go ahead and go over the box, because of course it is a special box. You have the same old Champions logo that we've had for quite some time. 2021 NTT IndyCar Series champion with his number in the font. And then there you can see him lifting the Astor Cup. Here you can see a picture of the car after the race, or well, during the race, with all of its rubber and stuff on there. And this is where we start to go downhill. But there you can see him celebrating with the Astor Cup, IndyCar champion. Here's his stats: 16 starts, 3 wins, 1 pole, 10 top 5s, 12 top 10s, 137 laps led, and 14 races running at the finish, with 549 points at the season. You can see him kissing the Astor Cup, and then you can see the ass end of his car. And then up top here, we have the champion logo once again. And actually, it's just barely out of camera shot, but you can see the big issue. Raced version. We were here last year when we got the Dixon car, the race version of that. Now, this one here, the one edge that it actually has over the Dixon car is it's on the right aero package. It's on the road course kit. Last year, if you remember back, the Dixon champion came out on the oval kit when, of course, the 2020 IndyCar season ended on the streets of St. Petersburg. So we do have one upper hand. However, here we go with the race version crap again. And once again, my theory about them just taking a black paintbrush and doing this on it and just spreading black paint dots everywhere seems to be confirmed through this, and it looks terrible. If you look at the tires and stuff too, it kind of confirms that, because you can literally see, it's going to be difficult in this light, but you can see kind of the black paint dots on top of the tires. It looks ridiculous. It looks stupid. This is not a race version at all. I could do a better job of this. I have done a better job of this. But let's just go over the car in general, because this is actually a new livery for Alex Palou in the diecast form. And I say that because we did get an NTT car before. However, that was his Indy 500 livery. We also got his Barber win, the Segi TV car. So this is the third Alex Palou car that we've gotten, and it's the first kind of normal NTT data livery, not just the one-off Indy 500, and obviously the Segi is not an NTT data livery. And actually, this is the first regular NTT data livery that we've gotten since 2020. Now, in blue, 19 with Rosenquist in his first year with Ganassi. But in terms of NTT data in general, we have Rosenquist. But anyways, let's go ahead and start. So we have NTT data on the front wing, main plane, and then there you can see the elements, and there is the terrible... Hold on a second. You gotta be fucking kidding me. The Honda logo is not plastered down right. You can see there in the corner the Honda logo is kind of fucked up. You can see the race elements. Now, honestly, the front wing does not bother me, because it's kind of okay. I wish they would have kind of streaked it a little bit, but the front wing itself does not bother me, because that looks about kind of where it would be. Now, we get up the nose. We have Dallara Honda NTT IndyCar Series Highland Insurance. Now, I believe this was a one-off sponsor, because I have not seen this on any other Chip Ganassi car, and actually I didn't even know it was there. We have NTT, HPD, obviously for Honda. We have the 10. Now, this is one of the biggest downfalls of this livery. I love this livery, just minus the white circle with the blue number 10 in it. I don't know why, but I just don't like it. But anyways, NTT data on the shock cover, and then you can see the race markings kind of going up. Now, it's a lot more worse in person. I think the blue kind of hides it quite a bit, but when you start looking at it in person, it is pretty bad. The aero screen there's no real decaling on it minus the usual Honda and NTT Indycar series. There is, of course, the race markings on it. And there's race markings on the headrest. Now, this is something that does not make sense to me, is with the aero screen, aerodynamically speaking, you should not be getting rubber bits and shit on the on the headrest of the car anymore. And I don't think that's even possible with a realistic IndyCar. And then you also got race markings on the actual seat. I'm in here looking at this light, and there is those little black dots on the seat as well. I know it's very difficult to see in there, but it's there. I don't know why it's there. It should not be there, but it is. On the mirrors, we have NTT data on the top and side. Actually, let me refocus. We have Siemens, Sherwin-Williams, Lincoln Welders. On top of the side pod, NTT data, and then NTT data there. It's a very, looking from this point of view, it's a very classic number 10 NTT data. I mean, this car is a classic at this point because of how long it's been around and the fact that it's been through Tony Kanaan, Ed Jones, Felix Rosenquist, now Alex Palou. Anyways, number 10 up here on the roll hoop, NTT data, Chip Ganassi Racing. Speedway right there at the, seam line there. And then Honda NTT data, and then of course PPG on the aero screen. You can see the race version markings continuing down the side here. Let me refocus. Sorry. Again, it's just not realistic. There should not be that kind of dirt on the side of a car like that. Like anywhere it'd be like kick up from the front tire right here in this area, kind of streaking back, and then maybe a little bit on the top. But then it would fade away up until you hit this ramp. So anything like where aerodynamics are going to hit, it would just kind of, the rubber's going to hit, but aerodynamics not going to really affect like right here in the way that it does. On the engine cover, we have PNC Bank, because bank on that number 9. The white stripe continues from the nose running all the way down the spine of the car, and the fin is blue, so it kind of has that blue streak continuing down as well, which is a great look. I love the look of it. On top of the flick, we have NTT data, and then United Concordia Dental. So they're sponsored by a dental place this race. On the side, you can see the race markings, of course, continue on the flick with HPD, NTT P1 Pull Award, and Firestone. Now, one good thing is it is on Firestone Reds. I will say that I do enjoy the fact that they released another car on the Firestone Reds, or at least road course car. Now, the Dave Malukas car that's coming out on the Speedway Aero kit that's on the Firestone Reds makes absolutely no fucking sense to me, but whatever. I mean, we once got a diecast with Firestone Pinks on it, thus being a Pippa Man car. And on top of the rear wing, we got NTT data twice on the main plane and as well as the upper element. The number 10 in the circle, again, not a huge fan of it, but whatever. On the back, NTT data once again, you can see the diffuser and that beautiful ass end. And then this side, again, the race versioning continues and it looks god-awful. And you can see it there. Now, at least it lightened up a little bit here, but it's still just terrible looking. They really royally screwed this up. So let's talk about this car. Alex Palou is probably one of the more surprising champions as of late. Now, in terms of, the fact that he was in his second year, and his first year was with Dale Coyne Racing, and the fact that, going into 2021, I would not have said Alex Palou would be a champion. I would have said it would have been another guy that was put in the 10 car and didn't really do anything with it. However, he's proved me wrong on a consistent basis. Now, if you look at his season throughout a whole, it's like, oh yeah, he is a championship contender. But going into last season, he was not. And now you look at him and how consistent he is, and just the pure pace that he carries is fantastic. And he really does have the potential to be the next Scott Dixon in terms of at Chip Ganassi Racing. Now, what's my opinions of this specific car? Because if you're watching this video, you want to see the diecast and me kind of ramble and rant about it. Well, frankly, the base diecast is great. If they would have just left it unraced, it would have been easily 10 out of 10 for me. It would have, ironically actually in this case, it would have been probably hands down one of the better diecasts of the year. The raced version kills it big time. It's just... Greenlight, why do you do this to us? I mean, honestly, nobody asked for this, and after the Dixon car, we most certainly made it well known that we didn't want this. Now, if you went back and made a race version like you did with the Dixon and Franchitti 500 winners in 08 and 10, we would not have a fucking problem with this. However, this is unacceptable. This is just purely unacceptable, and the moment that it was announced that they were doing a race version of the Champion, I groaned, everybody groaned, we didn't want it, we didn't ask for it, we didn't need it. We just needed the base diecast, the base NTT data car that he ran. We did not want a race version, but here we go. Once again, you're giving us crap that we really did not, or you gave us a car that we really wanted with crap that we didn't. And I wish you would just listen to the people for once, who give you uber amounts of money every year to buy stuff like this. You should listen to people like us, because we're the ones at the end of the day who keep your business going. And the reason I got it is because it's a Champion car. And that's the reason a lot of people are going to get it. Or the fact that they're Palou fans, whatever. But honestly, the race version, once again, for the second year in a row, looks like absolute dog shit, and we could all be better off without it. So, on that, what's my final rating of this car? As the base car, 10 out of 10. With the race markings, it's like a 5. I mean, the race markings honestly kill the look of this car that badly. And it sucks to say it, but Greenlight, once again, get your shit together. I mean, I don't see many flaws in terms of consistency. Like, they're all pretty much the same, minus the Honda logo on the nose of mine, but I'm sorry. Like, once again, unacceptable. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Definitely, there's going to be a try review, so 3 cars in 1 coming up here, either today or tomorrow, of the Hy-Vee cars, the 3 Hy-Vee promo cars. But that's it for the review of this one. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, well, actually, let's do something a little different today. Hasta la Jolla.